What's going on, guys? Mackenzie Long here. So we're talking about working hard and dying poor, and it sounds like Bruce Willis movie or something like that. I don't know where Bruce Willis is. Where is he when you actually need him? And if you clicked on the thumbnail thinking you were going to see Bruce Willis, I'm sorry. I'm obviously not him, but we're actually talking about what I think a lot of people go through in their life in working really hard but dying poor. And I've been thinking about this a lot, that your life used to be designed long before you were ever born. Whatever your parents did, whatever they were born into, whatever their status in life was, that was kind of what you had to do. If your dad made shoes or fixed shoes, then you did the same thing. Or if he was a blacksmith or raised animals, whatever it might be, it seemed like people's plot in life was predetermined, and it was very difficult to raise your status even if you wanted to. But now we've gotten past all of that, especially in today's Western society. That's no longer a thing. You really can raise to whatever level you would like to in our society. We all have the ability to live the life that we would like to design, or design the life that we would like to live. And compared to the rest of the world, that's fairly uncommon. It's even pretty new in our society. It's only been the last couple generations where I think that people actually believe that to be true. And it seems like it's taken a long time for that to really catch on, and that you see this generational wealth, or you see this generational curse, or being poor generationally in a society that's not really applicable anymore. So I wonder sometimes, why does that continue to happen? Why is it that if you're brought up poor, you feel that you also need to die poor? And then you look at statistics, and it's really interesting because you can pull up an article like this one with CNBC, where they're talking about how the vast majority of businesses, over 40% of all the top 500 companies, were actually originated by people who were either immigrants or they were children of immigrants. And now they've become some of the top companies in the world. And as you dig into it even deeper, it seems like immigrants are actually more likely to be successful and to build large amounts of wealth and to become entrepreneurs and business owners than even people who are naturally born here in the US. Which to me says a lot about our opportunity, and kind of casts doubt on a lot of the other things that you hear about what the United States believed was about immigrants and people who come to this country. Because it would be kind of fascinating that if the vast majority of people who became wealthy were actually immigrants, and somehow we don't like immigrants. So that's kind of telling in and of itself as well. But it leads me to ask the question, how is it possible that we can have people who are born in this country and they've been here for multiple generations, however they've not been able to grow into a position where they actually have some form of wealth? And then you can have an immigrant that comes to this country, and within just a few years or maybe a single generation, they're able to build tremendous amounts of wealth. So to me, I wonder how much of that is the belief system of people who are born here, or natural born citizens, and their feelings about the opportunities here, versus what immigrants believe that the opportunities are here. And why is it that so many Americans believe that they cannot find success in America? And I've done numerous videos, reaction videos, of news articles or people in the news who have talked about a lot of these things. And it's interesting, when you interview a lot of people, they no longer feel like the American dream is really possible for them. But yet we look at articles like this one from Psychology Today, which says that the vast majority of immigrants who come to this country, within 20 years, they end up in a similar situation, if not a better one, than people who were actually brought up in this country. So how is it that in the same exact opportunity, one person can come in and within 20 years at least get equal to the rest of the country? And oftentimes those people who are coming here are leaving everything behind. And I've seen this many, many times, where they were doctors or lawyers, or they owned businesses in previous countries, and then they come here and they basically have to start over at a much later date than people who are born here, obviously. So they're coming here in an older age, having to basically start over. If they want to be a doctor, they have to go through schooling all over again. You can make the argument, well, they've already done it one time, it's easier to do it the second time, and that could possibly be true. However, a lot of things are very different as well. So how is it in just a few years they can amass equivalent wealth to people who have lived here for generations? And to me, that really brings up this phenomenon that I think is really interesting to look into, in that why do we generationally work so hard but oftentimes die poor? And I've really thought about this at great length. How is it possible that I was born into a normal everyday family and yet somehow figured a way to do things a little bit differently? And every time that I try to boil it down to what the difference is, when I look at people who are stuck in that kind of 9 to 5, stuck in that rat race, I think the only thing that really got me out of that was financial literacy. And I'd like to equate it to something else, but really what made that transformation was I just started stumbling into some of these books around Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and things about business and money. And that was really the crux of what changed everything for me. And as I learned how to build wealth, I was able to build more wealth, which, I mean, makes sense. If you want to get better at laying bricks, then you should learn about laying bricks. If you want to get better at business, you should learn about business. However, that was not the trajectory of my life. My trajectory, like many other people, maybe people watching this video, was very simple. It was just go to school, get good grades, then go get a job in that field. And I decided to become an engineer. And I went to work in that field. And then it was supposed to be a good paying job, and I was just going to live the rest of my life happy. And I wonder if that's really the difference. Is it that we're kind of setting our kids up to live a happy life, or to somehow do something that's going to provide them fulfillment, versus the immigrant family that's coming over, that they really need to take advantage of the opportunities that they have before them? Maybe we're teaching our kids, maybe we're teaching society to settle, and you can see that in a lot of different areas where we're giving away participation trophies, while at the exact same time, immigrants are struggling for their life just to keep food on the table, and then they leave everything that they have behind to come here for this opportunity. I wonder if they see it differently. I wonder if they see the vision going through that struggle in order to get here, that they take more advantage of that opportunity. And it comes back down to the idea that when you pay a bigger price, you want more out of something. And I wonder if the immigrant families set that example for their kids of paying that huge price, of literally leaving everything and everyone behind and moving into a country that oftentimes they don't even speak the language, just to have a chance to be able to have success. And kids see that and they thrive, or they emulate that into an actual area that has opportunity. They pay such a huge price to get here that their willingness, their desire to get something in return for their price, the price that they paid, is so much higher. And I see this to be true in lots of different experiences in life, and people who want to continue to grow in business, or people who want to get better in any area of their life, whether it's health, whether it's financial, whether it's spiritual. Those people who are willing to pay a bigger price generally get a bigger payoff. They're willing to put in more time and more effort, and so they get more out of that opportunity. And I wonder if we've been deceived in some of those areas, that we maybe feel like the opportunity is owed to us, or that somebody's going to give us the opportunity, or because we're here, that opportunity should just be given to us versus us having to earn it. Or maybe we simply just delay, we put it off because we can, in that we think that someday we'll eventually get to that point. Someday, maybe after I go to school, then I'll try to do it. Or maybe after I get married, then maybe I'll try to do it. Or maybe now that I have kids, maybe after I have kids, I can do it. And then maybe it's, well, after I retire, I can do it. And then it's after maybe I have grandkids, well, maybe then I can look into it. And then, oops, by then, it's kind of already too late. And I don't think it's ever necessarily too late. I think we always have more time than we think we actually have. And time is this thing that we're not good at grasping. We don't actually realize how much time we have. And with compounding growth and continuing to get better, when we decide to do that, how much better our life can get and how quick that can happen because of that same exact compounding, that it's not simply a year stacked on top of another year, but it's that learning curve, that ability to be able to build wealth and learn about things like passive income and compounding interest on our money, that time, it's not just addition, it's multiplication. And when we can learn how to do it in business as well, it's multiplication onto multiplication. It's quadrupling, not just doubling. And I think about all this because really it was simply an accident that I fell into it. I was talking to people and they recommended me reading some books, and I started getting into things like Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad, things that I would never have accidentally got into, things that my family never gave me or asked me to read, things I had never learned in school. And it started shifting my mindset. I started investing in these things. I started investing in myself, and that trajectory changed. What feels like almost overnight, even though it's been almost 12 years now, that trajectory changed, and it's been such a huge difference in my life, where I think that had I not done that, I'd probably be in almost the same situation I was 12, 13 years ago. And the reason why I know that is because all of those people that I left behind, or all of those people who were doing those things when I was doing them, are in the same exact situation, if not worse, because we've had some huge hits in the economy since then, and oftentimes those jobs that they had were devastated by the things that have happened over the last few years. And I think that's why people who have been through this journey want to give back so much, because we realize the impact that it's made on our lives and the difference that it's made in just a few years, and now compounding that over my entire life and then into the next generation. That's huge, and I don't think that that should be taken lightly. That really is a big deal. That when people decide to make that shift, that small shift, and we laugh about it, or when we watch movies, we always think about, well, that one little small change, if they were to go back in time and make that one tweak, how much of a difference that our life makes. But why can't we decide to do that today? Why can't we decide to make that one tweak that changes the rest of our life, that butterfly effect, if you will? And I think that comes from investing in yourself and looking for opportunities. And I actually feel more connected with people that are on this journey than I do my own friends or the people that I grew up with, or even oftentimes my own family, because it's kind of a camaraderie that you can't find anywhere else. You oftentimes hear athletes talk about it, or people in the military, how because they literally sweat and bleed and have hard times together, sometimes they feel like they're dying together, but because of that, the strength and the camaraderie they build is something that's really special. And once they get out of those things, they say that it's very hard to find something that's like that. And I think business and this pursuit of doing better in every aspect of life, including financially, is very similar to that. And needless to say, I'm really excited to just be on this journey with you, and I hope that we continue to grow in our relationship together and that I'm able to provide some value in that as well. So if you can do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button and also hit the subscribe as well. We've got some great stuff coming up that I'm really excited about. We've launched a podcast aspect to our YouTube channel as well, so I'm excited for some of those things to be coming out. Eventually, I think we might turn that into its own channel, but right now we're going to kind of keep those things together. And I think that's going to be a ton of fun. That's going to bring a lot of value as well. And then we're also launching, if you haven't seen it already, we've launched that we're giving away over $50,000 in financial literacy resources. This is not a YouTube giveaway thing or social media thing. This is something that we've just decided to do out of our local office here in Vegas, and we're doing it nationally. I don't know how many people we're going to touch with that, but we thought $50,000 was a pretty good start in resources to be able to give people this education into financial literacy and hopefully get you started in figuring some of these things out, whether it's an entrepreneurial journey for you, or maybe the journey that you're on is what you want to be doing the rest of your life, and you just want to find a way to be able to learn this aspect about money and how you can put money away and do better financially. That's coming out as well, and I'm really excited about that. Make sure you go check out that video if you haven't seen it already. There's also a link down below if you are interested in some of that and you want to give us some information so we can get some resources out to you as well. So don't forget to hit the little bell so that way you can see as these videos are coming out that you stay up to date with all of them. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.